Hello and welcome back to the United in Spirit podcast, where yet again we are talking about Cristiano Ronaldo as he has returned to the squad for Man United's upcoming game against Sheriff at Old Trafford on Thursday. After being excluded from the squad after refusing to come up against Tottenham last week, if you didn't know, you do now. He refused to come on, walked down, turned and left. And now he's back, and Ten Hag has clearly forgiven him. They've obviously had talks, the brief that came out yesterday, they've been in constant dialogue, been good dialogue, everybody said the word dialogue yesterday somehow. And Ronaldo's back, and you gotta hope it's to kick up the arse he needed this season. It must be hard for him, obviously, coming off the bench and being a bit part player, but he has to either accept the role for that who he is or become better. It's no coincidence that we're better without him. He has not been good for Manchester United this season. When he plays, we don't do well. When he doesn't play, we do well. It's up to him to change that. He can change that. No one's denying the attributes that Cristiano Ronaldo can hold to this team. He can be great, but he hasn't been. 2 goals this season, one a penalty against Sheriff and the other against Everton. That's it. That's all he's done this season. And it's not like he contributes assists. It's not like he contributes defensively. He hasn't done anything this season to warrant the behaviour he's had. Even if he did well, even if he's doing amazing, already scoring 10, 15 goals this season, the behaviour is not acceptable. But the fact is, his behaviour is not acceptable because his ego doesn't match the play he's doing right now. He has the ego of when he was 26 years old, scoring 50, 60 goals a season. But he's not that player anymore, and I think he needs to accept that. And he hasn't accepted that. And you gotta hope that what Ten Hag has done is giving him chances. Other managers could have just sent him away for the rest of until January. Other managers could have done that. But Ten Hag sees the abilities and qualities Ronaldo can bring to this side. Ronaldo does have qualities that he can bring off the bench in Europa League games. And he wants to get the best out of him. Yet Ronaldo's not reciprocating that. He hasn't shown him the qualities that he can do. You gotta hope that against Sheriff, again, it's another opportunity. He's had the opportunities against Sheriff, Ammonia in the Europa League to showcase he can start in the league, and he hasn't done that. He started the league against Newcastle. He came off and we played better. Ten Hag has been proven right this season. He was alright with selling Ronaldo in the summer after he didn't show up for pre-season, after he requested to leave. But Ten Hag kept reiterating Ronaldo will be part of the squad. Ronaldo's a big player for me, and he hasn't shown anything otherwise. He's used Ronaldo, but why should he use a player that's not playing well? Ten Hag has completely shifted the mentality of this team. Completely shifted. Yes, he will have faith in you, but if you're not doing well, you're not going to play. But he will still give you chances. He's given Ronaldo chances in Europa League. He dropped Maguire, he gave him the chance in Europa League against Sociedad, he didn't show it, and he didn't get back in the team. Malacia, he gave him chances to come back after Luke Shaw did alright, and he didn't come back in the team. That's fine. Luke Shaw, he gave him chances again. He brought him off the bench a couple of times. He started him and he started getting back in the form, and now he's back in the side. It's about taking your chances. Jadon Sancho, if Martial comes back and is doing well again, he'll probably be on the bench with Rashford on the left. But he will get chances to come back in the team, and if he does well, he'll come back in the team. There's no favourites being played here. Ten Hag hasn't come into Manchester United. I'm going to destroy Ronaldo's career. There's no favourites being played. It's just if you're playing well, you're going to play. And that's simple. If it was any other player doing what Ronaldo's done this season, they wouldn't be in the squad. But because it's Ronaldo, there's a big talking point about it, and that's that, isn't it? Ronaldo's always going to go on, and that's probably not a benefit to the club right now. You want to be able to build quietly, really. That's the best thing to do. You want to quietly build up the squad, and as a team as well. With all the focus on Ronaldo, it's not a team thing, is it? Do the players like all the focus being on Ronaldo? Probably not. Some probably do, some probably don't mind it, but with all the focus on Ronaldo, when they're playing best, then it's probably not a great thing. What do they think of Ronaldo refusing to come on? What do the young players think? What do the statesman players think? What do like Casemiro and Varane think, who've been with him through thick and thin at Real Madrid? Varane was his teammate for what? 8-9 years at Real Madrid. Casemiro for about 4 or 5. Both winning 4 Champions Leagues with him. They're seeing a different side to Ronaldo. But Ronaldo has to adapt to the age he's at. Ibrahimovic, right now, when he was fit for AC Milan, accepted the role he had. He came off the bench. He shored up games. He acted as a target man. He let other players play. He didn't kick up a fuss about it. And he said, that's who I am now. Messi right now, he's completely different to Messi of 4 years ago. He doesn't dribble as much, he doesn't use his pace, but he's intelligent. He drops into spaces and plays through balls for Mbappe for fun. And it's working. He's arguably one of the best players in the world right now, after struggling last year a bit. But Ronaldo's not adapting his game. When Ronaldo was at his best, he saved energy from not defending, really, to do all the dribbling, all the might that got him 3 goals a game a lot of time. But right now, he's saving his energy, but not producing the attacking thing worth saving his energy for. So if he did put all his energy into helping the team press from the front, helping the team in that way, he will get more chances a game. But when he is in the team, we're not defending from the front, we're not doing that. So we're not really sustaining pressure that well. And he's just not getting as many chances because it's hard. It's hard to create chances against teams that shut up shop against you and can get on the break a lot of the time. But against Chelsea, against Tottenham, we showed that pressing from we can sustain pressure for long periods of time against good teams. But him, a lot of main nice opportunities have come from defending from the front. A lot of big opportunities come from pressing from the front, but Ronaldo doesn't seem to be willing to do that. And if he sees football a different way, he sees there's reports coming out he doesn't like the style. So if you don't want to buy in, you're not the person we're backing anymore. The board have been clear that they're backing Ten Hag over him, and that's probably the right decision. Why would you back a 37-year-old over the manager of the club? Who we want him to be here for years and years to come. Ronaldo's gone in January probably. And on to other things. Michael Edwards rumoured to be coming in as director of football, or whatever role they choose for him, but clearly they're looking at somebody maybe to come in to help with recruitment, because our summer recruitment was very good, but it wasn't the recruitment team doing it, was it? It was quite obviously all Ten Hag signings. Malacia he knew from the Dutch league and saw he fitted his style of play. Eriksen he knew from Ajax, who trained with him, and is a free transfer, wasn't hard to do. Martinez and Anthony he brought from Ajax. He knew them, he knew their qualities, and we brought them in. And Casemiro has been the best defensive midfielder in the world probably for the last, 6 years. It's not exactly high level recruitment, and it's not like we pay cheap for them either. We divvied around on Anthony, and probably worth 60 million euros. We paid 100 million euros. We could have probably got Martinez earlier in the window for about 40-45 million euros. Manasseh's a good buy. Eriksen on free. Yeah, Casemiro, you're going to pay that much for that kind of player. But there was no strategy towards it from the recruitment side. It was just all Ten Hag's choice. That's a good thing for Ten Hag, but you don't want that. You don't want the manager picking the players all the time. You want a strategy behind it. You want the manager's input into it, but you also want to be smarter behind the scenes. Saying, also going against what the manager also wants. You're like, yeah, you want that, but we see this. You want that, but we see this. This could also work. How about instead of that one, we get these two? It's also working on the tighter budget as well. We can't go out and spend 300 million euros on players again. We need to get the smarter buys, and we haven't been doing that recently. We think we do sometimes, like with Ahmad and Palestri. We thought, they're smart buys. They're going to take the ball. They were just panic buys after failing to get Sancho. But we'll just go buy 2 young right wingers, and yeah. We do need someone in that position who oversees the project. Because Joe Mercer, he doesn't have the experience to do it. Yeah, he can work in a role somewhere, but he doesn't have the experience. He doesn't have the connections. He may not be able to build it, but it's not a place to learn on the job. It's not a place to learn on the job. Manchester United, you cannot be learning on the job. We can't be having people there learning on the job. We need people to be acting there and now. Michael Webb was built up the Liverpool team that won the Champions League and won the Premier League. He was the person who built that team for Klopp. Klopp didn't do that. Everyone goes on, Klopp did this, Klopp, built the team, he didn't have to spend much money, but that's because Michael Webb found the players. He knew when he didn't have to spend much, he knew when he had to spend much. He knew the effect that Mane and Salah can have, he knew what role they can play. You don't want the manager going out and scouting players. You want to give the manager a scouting report of the players, and they might not know them, they might not agree with it, but you want to go, but you also want to be able to go, the scouting report says, but I watched it and, it said this, and I think he can work that way, and show him evidence of that, and it fits into your style. You don't want to be recommending the wrong player, you don't want to be recommending a ball playing midfielder when you need a more, industrious midfielder. You don't want to be, soon we're probably going to have to be looking for a new central defender. That's quite obvious. Varane's injury prone. When he plays, he will play, but we probably need a younger defender to hopefully grow with Martinez. And with Martinez's style, you need someone who probably occupies a space better, covers a little bit more. We need someone who can identify that. You don't want just to have someone go, that defender's the best, isn't he? That's what Edwin would do. He's like, that defender's great, isn't it? We need specific profiles. This is with what happens with Ten Hag. You need specific profiles and specific positions that do specific jobs for him. He can work around weaknesses. He wants other players' weaknesses to be other players' strengths, and it works together. You can't just buy the best players anymore. And that's what it's been for Man United for a long time. It needs to be specific profiles and specific positions for specific players. New goalkeeper soon as well. New striker as well. We need to have someone that we can trust to find his position. And even if it is a young striker, get the right one. Get the right one. If it's a young goalkeeper, get the right one. It's a young centre-back that we build up. Starts 10 games a season for the first 2 seasons. That's fine. But we need to start being smarter in the transfer window. We can't keep having these summers of just big name players. Last summer's different, but we could have done business a lot better last summer. It's very good. People are happy with the players we have, but it still could have been a lot better. And with Man United, we can't just be sitting there going, we've got Casemiro, Anthony, Martinez, Eriksen, Manasseh, they're all... What? But we could have done so much better. So much better. And if we acted so much earlier, we could have done better. But that's also indicative of the Glazers. They set a budget. We started poorly. They gave us a bigger budget. That's the problem with the ownership as well. If we knew we had £200 million to spend at the start of the window, we'd probably been a bit different, maybe. But that's the problem with the club right now. You don't really know what's going on. But with Michael Edwards, that was the first person coming into the club with a track record of success in a long time. Edwin would have no knowledge of football when he started. No knowledge of football. He had no idea what he was doing. No idea. John Murtagh had a track record with the women's team. He did some Premier League development, but it wasn't a director of football. That he discovered these players. He built up that squad. He got this player for that price. He might have done that, but he covered it with that. Darren Fletcher, yeah, he's probably learning on the job, but there's no track record of success. We need players with we need people with track record of success at the club. Michael Edwards is that. So if the rumours are true that we're looking at him, or even if it was Van der Sar, who came out, squashed the rumours, but him or Van der Sar, they have track records of success. And we need to start getting people with that track record of success. We don't need... Under Solskjaer, it was John Murtagh's learning on the job. Ed Woodward has no idea what he's doing. Solskjaer's learning on the job. Fletcher's learning on the job. They were all learning on the job, and at the end it just didn't work. You look at the big clubs, they have all people with track records of success and people who know what they're doing. They know their specific roles and know their specific jobs. For a long time at Man United hasn't been that. And that's why we've had so many rebuilds as it is. Because we've had to change up. We've had to change up so many times. If you look at the summer of 2019, we rebuild our defence with Maguire, Wan-Bissaka. They're on a shopping list right now, 3 seasons later. We cannot get near the first team. How long it took us to rebuild that midfield? It's only now, after a few years, it's Casemiro and Eriksen, and we've gone how long without touching the midfield, really? When we brought in Van Dijk, well, that's the wrong profile midfielder. We didn't need an attacking midfielder, we needed a defensive midfielder at the time. We've gone, we have Pogba, we have Fernandes, we need a defensive midfielder. That was the thing at the time. But we got Van der Beek instead. We go, well, yeah, he's a backup, but not the profile we needed. There's so many times where we bought the wrong players at the wrong time. We need to start buying the right players at the right time. It sounds simple, but it's a lot more complicated than that, and Man has shown it's a lot more complicated than that. But that's what makes success, buying the right players at the right time. Liverpool are struggling this season because they didn't buy the right players. They went for Darwin Núñez with all their money. They ignored the midfield. They ignored defensive issues. They thought they would be fine, but they didn't. Man City got a Kanji at the end of the transfer. Just, another Pendo, might as well. And he's been brilliant for them. Buying the right players. Arsenal didn't, go mental in the transfer window. But they brought in Zinchenko and Jesus. Pretty sure they were the 2 big signings. But you go, well, Jesus have fixed their problem at striker and Zinchenko fit into the tactical style. You go, well, that's fine then. They didn't spend a heap ton on them, but Jesus allows them to press aggressively from the front, and Zinchenko tucks into the field and brings good ball playability. That's what they needed, and that's what they got, and it's made them top of the league. The thing is now, in going into summer, we know what we need. We need a new striker who can press in the front, who can hold up the ball a bit, who can run in behind, who can, get himself some chances. But we also probably need a goalkeeper who could, if David De Gea's contract, we let David De Gea go, You need a good goalkeeper who can sweep, who can pass, who can save shots. And we probably need a new young central defender. And maybe a winger. You go, well, yeah, that's what we need. Maybe a new midfielder. If we sell one of Fred and McTominay, we go, and Eriksen, you go, well, yeah, he'll be a star midfielder next season, but we'd probably prefer an upgrade there. Yeah. It's obvious where we need to upgrade. Instead of just one or two or three areas, we go, that's the area, but we also want specifics in that area. And it might change over time. Over time, we might go, oh, we might need a striker that doesn't run in behind, but, plays as a false nine. We might change up the system. We go, oh, we might need an extra ball in midfield. We might need a different style of centre back. It might change over time. It might change over time. We need a new left winger or something. Or Sancho moves into a false nine role and excels at it or something like that. Things change. But the director of football has to be able to change with that and know how to change with that. Michael Edwin said that he built that Liverpool team from the ground up. He completely rebuilt that in a few years, and he joined in 2016. Within 2 years, they won the Champions League final. Within 3 years, they won the Champions League. Within 4 years, they won the Premier League. Hopefully, he comes in, because the more brains, the better. Even if John Murtagh stays on and he's in a different role, like head recruitment or something like that, the more brains in this, the better. The more players that can be identified, the better. Man, I've had such severe lack of recruitment ability recently that you can't be upset about how many people you have in the recruitment office. As long as the manager's happy with them, then that's fine. And Ten Hag also has the eye for the player, so if he agrees, then that's good then. Now let's look back on let's forward to the Europa League game against Sheriff. It's last time against Sheriff, it wasn't great, was it? We won 2-0 away in Moldova. We didn't play well, really. It's one of them. We came back. We came off the Real Sociedad game. That was an eerie, weird game where we lost. We dominated the ball and stuff, but we didn't really play that well. The Crystal Palace game got postponed, and we came against Sheriff with what was our full strength side at the time, with McTominay midfield, Malacia, left back, Ronaldo up front, or maybe not Ronaldo, but we dominated the ball and stuff, but we didn't really create anything. Really. We had 8 shots, 4 on target. They had 11 shots, 2 on target. But hopefully, with the progress we have seen over the last few weeks, being better in possession, dominating the ball, sustaining pressure as well, defending from the front, it'll be a different kind of game. Hopefully. But Sheriff are a good side. They low block you. It will be struggles at times to create chances. But it's a game we should win. It also could be room for some rotation as well. Malacia coming in, probably. McTominay probably coming in for Casemiro. Probably Ronaldo starts as well. And that's the opportunity for Ronaldo to come in. If he doesn't score against Sheriff now, it'll be no open play goals in 5 Europa League games. That's a struggle. Then after Sheriff, we have West Ham. The fixtures list this season it's a slog, the Premier League this season. You don't look at any fixture, you go, that's an easy game. Even Bournemouth, even Nottingham Forest, you go, they have the ability to surprise that. Nottingham Forest beating Liverpool. There's no easy game in the Premier League. We've faced all the good teams, and now we're facing West Ham as well. West Ham will sit back on us, obviously, as they always do. They just low block us, and it's on us to break it down and against Spurs, against Chelsea, we showed very good chance creation. If we had more clinical players, we probably finish them chances and win quite comfortably. Against Spurs, it could have been 4 or 5-0. Against Chelsea, it could have been 2-0 up at half time. But you'd rather have this problem than go, we drew 1-1, we scored our chance, and they dominated the game, which happened twice against Chelsea last season. Against Chelsea last season, we had 9 shots in total in 2 games. We had 8 shots in the first half this season. But we drew that game. How different does it feel? We drew both them games 1-0, and half of them games we were like, we got absolutely pummeled in them games. But we took our chance and we drew 1-0. And it's the exact same result, but it feels so different. We went to Stamford Bridge and we were the better side for the first half. They made changes, we didn't react, and the quality really dropped off in the second half. We really struggled to get the ball. Sancho really poor. But we took it to them, and these 2 games against Tottenham and Chelsea were the first 2 games against top 6 sides where we went at them. We always produced performances, on the counter-attack mainly, under Solskjaer. But we never, took it to teams. We were always reactive, and we've been proactive in them 2 games. And it gives you a different feeling. Even against Newcastle, we took it to them. It gives you a different feeling of what this team can achieve, maybe even this season, that against top teams, against Newcastle, Tottenham, Chelsea, that we have been able to dominate the ball at times. We have been able to sustain pressure. Something that we haven't been able to do in years. And also create chances at the same time. Under Solskjaer, we would have the ball, but we would never look threatening with it. Teams were never threatened by us with the ball. They would allow us to have the ball. That was the damning thing. They would allow Man United to have the ball because they'd be like, we're just taking the counter. You always have open space and you're never really going to be in a position to create chances. But now, like what teams do to Man City, you got to hope that we get to a point where they just float back and hope for their lives. Man City never have teams that come out and attack them. Never. And if they do, they punish them. But teams evaluate and go, we're just going to have 10 men behind the ball and hope. Hopefully we get to that point. And hopefully we're good enough to also be able to punish teams with that as well. Also, hopefully, being able to do that whilst also being able to stop counter-attacks is probably the hardest thing to do. We saw a lot of times under Jurgen Klopp when Liverpool were first developing their style, they conceded a lot of goals. But we're not doing that. We're developing this style, but also not conceding many goals. We conceded a penalty against Chelsea, but other than that, Ammonia we didn't concede, Newcastle conceded, Tottenham we didn't concede, and we didn't concede that many chances against either of them teams. Tottenham didn't really create a big chance against us. Chelsea did nothing from open play. Newcastle had them headed from Joe Luton, that was it. Even Everton, they had a couple of chances, wasn't great, but defensively we have looked really good. And that's something that wasn't expected. I thought this season we would look good offensively, probably score more goals, but look a bit dodgy on the counter. But from transition and defensively, we've been quite good. And that's a testament to Lisandro Martinez probably, and Dalot and Shaw, Varane, and Casemiro definitely. Casemiro, it's a lovely sight seeing Casemiro in this team. But the defensive transition is probably usually the last thing to come. Usually you develop the attacking style, like underlaps, overlaps, whatever, how to create chances, how to build up for the back as well. But transition defensively is usually the last thing to come to teams. Being able to stop counters, usually takes a while to learn, but we've been able to do it quite well. Spurs is one of the best counter-attacking teams in the league. We can snuff them out. That's been a welcome surprise under Ten Hag. And that's just a testament to the quality of the players, really. Really is as well. But also the quality of the coaching. We haven't seen coaching like this in a long time. We haven't seen quality coaching like this for a while, and it's lovely to have Ten Hag as manager. It is great. Okay, anyway, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and comment your thoughts on anything I've said, and I'll see you next one.